I'm just notifying John Deere right now. If you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States.
It was an exchange no one expected. Trump completely destroyed the John Deere CEO, and nobody could have foreseen what happens then. Trump wasted no time diving straight into the accusations. These big corporations, like John Deere, think they can push Americans around, profit from their hard work, and get away with it. He turned, looking directly at the John Deere CEO. Trump wasn't about to let up though, and everyone watching could sense this was about to get intense. But what came after changed everything.
I just noticed behind me John Deere tractors. I know a lot about John Deere. I love the company, but as you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico. I'm just notifying John Deere right now. If you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States, so that if I win, John Deere is going to be paying a 200%. They haven't started it yet. Maybe they haven't even made the final decision yet, but I think they have. John Deere is going to, and anybody else that does this, because it's hurting our farmers, it's hurting our manufacturing. And if you do that, you're going to have a 200% tariff put on the product that you make in Mexico, right across the border. They think they're going to make product cheaper in Mexico and then sell it in for the same prices they did before, make a lot of money by getting rid of our labor and our jobs.
And it all started when earlier this year, John Deere announced that it was laying off hundreds of employees in the American Midwest and increasing its production capacity in Mexico, a decision that upset workers and some political leaders. Trump has frequently said he would slap automakers that move their production to Mexico with a 200% tariff, but this appears to be the first time he did it on live TV and completely destroyed John Deere. Shares in John Deere immediately fell more than 1.5% in after-hours trade on Monday. Ouch.
Okay, so this is him saying it. Now, here's what Mark Cuban says about it, okay? This lack of understanding of business is insane. Put a 200% tariff on an American company moving some production to Mexico, but tariff Chinese manufacturers 10 or 20% so that the Chinese products will be cheaper to sell in the US than the American company. Good way to destroy a legendary American company and increase costs to American buyers. Tom, your thoughts on this?
Employees are furious after the cuts. A longtime John Deere worker said it comes down to one thing: greed. In the meantime, social media was already ablaze as clips from Trump's showdown circulated rapidly, each one stoking the fire of his supporters. Trump's supporters celebrated his courage to confront a corporate giant, while others started to question their own views on the company's practices.
I'm going to put a 100, 200, 2,000% tariff. They're not going to sell one car into the United States.
We're going to make Detroit great again. When foreign leaders and CEOs call me up to complain about our tariffs, my answer will be very simple: build it in America.
Mercedes-Benz, BMW, all of the different Volkswagen, millions and millions of cars. They don't want anything from us. We have deficits that are crazy. We're not going to have them anymore. We're going to put tariffs on them.
It's a perfect application for a lot, but not for everybody. Some want gasoline propelled, and we have a lot of gasoline right under there. You know the story with hydrogen. It's great until it blows up, in which case you're not recognized.
Some comments wrote, "I'll never buy another John Deere tractor or any other of their products," wrote one famer today on Reddit. Another added, "John Deere is loyal to shareholders, not employees or even customers. Anything they say otherwise is propaganda." Another one, referring to rival Massey Ferguson and its red tractors, wrote, "Looks like a lot of color changes will happen in the next few years. I predict a lot more red in fields."
Electric cars will kill more than half of U.S. auto jobs and decimate the suppliers. They're being decimated already. Decimate the suppliers, and it's going to decimate your jobs, and it's going to decimate more than anybody else. What do you think of an electric car?
Trump wasn't finished. Turning back to the audience, Trump delivered his critique. "We're not asking for a lot here. We just want companies that respect the people they're supposed to serve," he said. "We need companies that invest in America, that help our farmers thrive, not ones that trap them in debt and dependency."
And I will end the electric vehicle mandate on day one. Thereby saving the U.S. auto industry from complete obliteration, which is happening right now, and saving U.S. customers thousands and thousands of dollars per car.
Trump said, probably my first call. I'm going to call President Xi. I'm going to say, you have to honor the deal you made. You made the deal. You buy $50 billion worth of American farm products, and I guarantee you he will buy it. 100% he will buy it, but it's up to John Deere. But that wasn't the only thing Trump was furious about. He goes further off on electric vehicles.
And right now, as we speak, large factories just started, are being built across the border in Mexico. So with all the other things happening on our border, and they're being built by China to make cars and to sell them into our country, no tax, no anything. The United Auto Workers ought to be ashamed for allowing this to happen. And the leader of the United Auto Workers should be fired immediately. And every single auto worker, union and non-union, should be voting for Donald Trump, because we're going to bring back car manufacturing, and we're going to bring it back fast.
They say it's all about clean energy, but what's it really costing us? It was a warning aimed directly at anyone who owns or is considering an EV. He laid out the extensive web of tech and energy systems, suggesting they're built to make drivers reliant on corporate-controlled infrastructure. Think about it. When they control the grid, the charging stations, and even the software updates for your car, who's really in control? Trump argued that the EV industry's end goal was less about environmental progress and more about creating a system that locks consumers into ongoing costs and commitments. With every statement, he hinted at a future where EV owners would be at the mercy of corporations, dependent on costly updates, and possibly subject to energy control measures.
Car works fine. I'm like, no, electric car is better. I should try it. And it was hard, hard to get people to do a test drive. Well, first of all, nobody knew who we were. Never heard of this company. And I'm like, yeah, we're named after Nikola Tesla. You know that guy? Nope. So for sure we were doing push in the beginning, because people said there was no one telling us that they wanted an electric car. So it was not out of like, it was like lots of people coming up to me saying, hey, I really want an electric car. I heard that 0 times. So people were like, it's like, man, we're going to make an electric car and show that these things can be good. And then people want them.
Like Biden held this EV summit. Didn't invite Tesla. Invited GM, Ford, Chrysler, and UAW. An EV summit on the White House. Didn't mention Tesla once, and praised GM and Ford for leading the EV revolution.
So you were pissed.
Does this sound maybe a little biased or something? And then, just not the friendliest administration. Well, seems to be controlled by the unions, as far as I can tell.